Ladies and gentlemen, I am the one and only DJ Storms. And tomorrow night, live on the WWE Network, the modern day Maharaja will do battle with the King of Strong Style for the WWE Championship. Also, there will be two Hell in a Cell matches, one of which will consist of two of the top tag teams in WWE today fighting over the SmackDown Live Tag Team Championships. And on the other side, the commissioner of SmackDown Live will step inside the Devil's Playground with the prize fighter, the exact same man who attacked his father. And it will be in a Falls Count Anywhere Hell in a Cell match. But before it's time to lower the Hell in a Cells down, before it's time to put the titles on the line, before it's time to step inside the Devil's Playground known as Hell in a Cell, it's time for the rundown! Thank you guys so much for tuning in to yet another video right here on YouTube.com. You already know who I am, a Mr. Controversy and the operator of the best damn Twitter handle known to mankind. This is the official rundown for WWE SmackDown Live exclusive brand pay-per-view Hell in a Cell. Of course, I stated it is streaming live tomorrow night on the WWE Network from Detroit, Michigan, with the pre-show, of course, starting at 7 p.m. Eastern Time, as always. And I also got some news and reports regarding some of the matches. Most of them are not so good. But, nevertheless, we're going to dive right into the matches. We have 8 matches scheduled for Hell in a Cell tomorrow. We're going to kick off this rundown by talking about the pre-show match, which was announced on Tuesday Night SmackDown Live. And it is going to be Shelton Benjamin and Chad Gable versus the Hype Bros. Now, I think that this is going to be the final nail in the coffin for the Hype Bros. And unfortunately, I really didn't want the Hype Bros to break up because I feel as though they should have gotten a SmackDown Live Tag Team title run. But apparently WWE has other plans. And I believe that Shelton Benjamin and Chad Gable, they are going to get the win. They are going to continue on their path to becoming SmackDown Live Tag Team Champions. Meanwhile, the Hype Bros, Zack Ryder is going to end up turning on Mojo Rawley, and they are going to go into an undercard feud in the near future. Moving on to the main show. We're going to kick off the rundown on the main show by talking about Randy Orton versus Rusev. Now, this match came about after Rusev held his Pride of Bulgaria celebration in which Randy Orton RKO'd him and Aiden English and challenged Rusev to this rubber match. Rusev lost to Randy Orton at SummerSlam in 10 seconds, and Randy Orton lost to Rusev on SmackDown Live in 10 seconds. So now this would make sense for Rusev to get the victory and possibly go into a United States Championship program with whoever the U.S. champion may be after Hell in a Cell. And Randy Orton, we all know that Randy Orton is frustrated with creatives' plans for him to continue his babyface run. As we know, Randy Orton does not like playing the babyface anymore. He would much rather play heel, and I agree with Randy Orton because Randy Orton plays a much better heel rather than a babyface. He plays a much more believable heel, if you will. So it would make sense for Rusev to come out victorious tomorrow night at Hell in a Cell. They're probably going to save that for like the second to last match because no one's really going to care about it. Next, we are going to dive into our first Hell in a Cell match, shall we? And it is going to consist of the New Day and the Usos. And Big E, I said on the Lightning Flash update yesterday that Big E was speaking some truth. Every single match that the New Day and the Usos have had, they have had the best damn match of the night, whether they were on the pre-show or the main show, a pay-per-view or SmackDown Live. They have the best damn match of the entire damn night. And I believe that Hell in a Cell is going to be no different. They could possibly have the match of the night and or a potential match of the year. Without a doubt, the New Day and the Usos, they bring out the best in each other, and I believe that this is going to be the final stand for both teams. This is going to be the final match that both teams have together in this storied rivalry. Although I do not agree with the constant flip-flopping of the titles, the matches have been fantastic. and with the correct, what's the word that I'm looking for? With the correct athleticism that both teams possess, and the fact that they have been doing this for 5 months now, you can bet that it's going to be a damn good match, and I believe that the New Day are going to come out victorious. I believe that the New Day, they need a proper run as SmackDown Live Tag Team Champions, and they also need to be built up because they are going to be the team that Shelton Benjamin and Chad Gable are going to be taking the titles off of. If the Usos win, I mean, I'm not going to be too much against it because the Usos are fantastic in every sense of the word. But at the same time, it's really kind of disrespectful to the New Day, and it's really devaluing the prestige of the SmackDown Live Tag Team Championship. So it would make sense for the New Day to come out victorious, have a proper run with the championships, and be built up to Clash of Champions, let's say, to which Chad Gable and Shelton Benjamin will take the titles off of the New Day. Moving on to Bobby Roode versus Dolph Ziggler. The build for this match has been awful in every sense of the word. I said on the Lightning Flash update that on Tuesday we had the Ziggle Drummer Boy. We had those twirlers. We had an air horn. Dolph Ziggler's been giving this stupid gimmick about how he mocks everyone's entrance, and he says he's going to have a great entrance for Bobby Roode come Hell in a Cell. But Bobby Roode said, whether you like it or not, Dolph, Hell in a Cell is going to be glorious, and he did the little skit on SmackDown where he put his hands up, and the music started when his hands went up. I said that that was a nice touch. The match itself, without a doubt, without any stipulation, these two have the potential to put on a fantastic wrestling match. Bobby Roode, we all know, he is fantastic in the ring, very methodical in the ring, and Dolph Ziggler, we all know, has an endless amount of moves. We all know that Dolph Ziggler can go in the ring. We all know he's, without a doubt, one of the greatest in-ring performers in the modern era. However, he has never been utilized correctly. So the correct thing to do here would be to have Bobby Roode come out victorious against Ziggler. And now we all know that that's going to be Ziggler's last match. He'll move on to a wrestling promotion which will actually utilize his talent correctly. New Japan Pro Wrestling. Sorry, I had to sneak that in there. But nevertheless, Bobby Roode is going to come out victorious at Hell in a Cell, and he's probably going to go into a mid-card feud, possibly with either Kevin Owens or AJ Styles, should he retain the United States Championship. Speaking of that match, and the last other matches of Hell in a Cell, most specifically the 3 other championship matches and Shane McMahon versus Kevin Owens, I have heard some bad news about those matches, and it has to do with the plans following Hell in a Cell. In the SmackDown Women's Championship match with Natalya and Charlotte, there's been a rumor going around, I believe it was reported by PW Insider and Cage Side Seats, if I'm not mistaken, correct me if I'm wrong, but I heard that Charlotte apparently is being discussed as Ronda Rousey's next opponent, or first opponent rather, for WrestleMania 34. Her and Stephanie McMahon have been in top contention of facing Ronda Rousey for Ronda Rousey's very first singles match, but there's been a report going around that Charlotte is rumored to win the SmackDown Women's Championship, and she's going to hold it all the way to WrestleMania and face Rousey for the SmackDown Women's Championship. I'm not for this at all. I really don't like this plan at all. Mainly because of the fact that, number one, it's really disrespectful to every single woman, not just on SmackDown Live, but on Monday Night Raw and NXT, that have worked their way up to a high stature or a high status in which they can be considered worthy of competing at WrestleMania, let alone for a championship. And now, since Ronda Rousey is coming in and she's immediately given a SmackDown Women's Championship match just because it's Ronda Rousey and they want to generate revenue, that does not make any sense, and quite frankly, it's incredibly disrespectful. I was not really all for the idea of Lana challenging Naomi at Money in the Bank for the SmackDown Women's Championship, but I let it slide mainly because I just wanted to see what she could do. And we all know how that went. That completely fell flat. And it would also be disrespectful to Natalya as well, because Natalya, they built up this whole skit where she hasn't won a women's championship in 7 years. They give it to her at SummerSlam, and you're just going to take it away from her after 7 weeks? You're treating her as a transitional champion? I don't agree with that either. There's only one, maybe two ways in which I would be okay with transitional champions. One way has to basically do with if you won the championship and someone cashes in Money in the Bank on you, that way they can build a feud around it. I'm okay with that. And it also begs the question, where does that leave Carmella? Where does that leave Carmella? What if Ronda Rousey wins the SmackDown Women's Championship? Does that mean that Carmella will cash in and she will lose to Rousey? Does that mean that Charlotte is going to hold the title all the way to WrestleMania, and somewhere in between that, Carmella's going to cash in, and Carmella's going to do the same thing that Baron Corbin did and squander the opportunity? It really doesn't make that much sense. Yes, your motto is to create new stars, but superstars like Ronda Rousey, she shouldn't be having her first match in the WWE a championship match. If you want, put her in the feud with Stephanie McMahon, so that way Stephanie can build this personal vendetta around Ronda to get revenge on her for what happened at WrestleMania 31. If it was up to me, I would have Natalya hold the title to possibly maybe a week or two before Survivor Series, have Carmella cash in on Natalya on a SmackDown or at Survivor Series, have Carmella hold the championship till the Rumble, and then you can have Charlotte win the title there. But I just have this sick feeling that they're going to go forth with the plan that I stated anyway. And I actually hope I'm wrong on this prediction, but I feel as though Charlotte's going to come out the SmackDown Women's Champion. And it's a real damn shame. Because Natalya, she deserves so much more than just the right of being called a transitional champion. Only for 7 weeks. You guys know how I feel about short title reigns. Moving on, we got the United States Championship match between Baron Corbin and AJ Styles. Now, AJ Styles has not held the championship for that long. And I've been really enjoying his reign as United States Champion. Especially the matches with Dillinger. And the storyline that he's been having with Dillinger and Corbin. And I really don't know why Ty Dillinger did not get added to this match. It would have made for a perfect match. But now Baron Corbin's inserted into this position, and based on what happened on SmackDown Live, it almost seems as though Baron Corbin is the favorite to win, because he lost to Ty Dillinger, and then Styles came up on the Titantron, basically stated that, you know, all opportunities for you will be cut short when you come and face AJ Styles. This is the house that AJ Styles built, and all that other good stuff. Does that mean that Corbin is winning? I would not be against it, but then again, I don't like short title reigns. It really does nothing. You held the AJ Styles held the title for 75 days now. His second reign. In reality, it should still be his first reign. Styles should have won the United States title at Battleground, and he should have held it all through the summer, into the fall, into Hell in a Cell. If you ask me, I think AJ Styles should come out victorious. I think that would be the best decision to do, and then you can have him go into a program with possibly Dillinger for one last time, and then you can have him drop the title to Bobby Roode at Clash of Champions. That would seem like the most logical thing to do, because of the fact that AJ Styles, he's still doing this United States Open Challenge, and, you know, what they did with Cena, they had him come out and defend it every single week. They gave it to Rollins, and they gave it back to Cena, and then they gave it to Alberto Del Rio, and you already know the whole story past that. You're really going to kill all that momentum with AJ Styles by just giving the title to Corbin? Because Corbin is certainly not going to do the United States Open Challenge. AJ Styles has been doing it. And who knows, maybe we could get it on SmackDown if AJ Styles comes out victorious at Hell in a Cell. I actually think he should. But then again, I would not be mad if Baron Corbin comes out victorious, because I believe that Baron Corbin deserved a United States Championship run in late 2016. That's why I wanted the United States title to be drafted over to SmackDown Live in the original draft, rather than the shakeup. So I'm going with that bold prediction. Even though Baron Corbin's the favorite, I have a feeling that AJ Styles is going to come out victorious. Next, we got Jinder Mahal and Nakamura for the WWE Championship. And I think most of you already know this, but I'm going to state it anyway. Dave Meltzer reported that WWE is going to be touring India next week, and I'm pretty sure that WWE on their Twitter page announced it as well. So this would basically entail that Jinder Mahal is retaining the WWE Championship, and he's going to defend it in India, possibly going to Survivor Series as champion. He's going to get by with a freebie for the interpromotional 5-on-5 SmackDown vs. Raw match. I honestly really don't know what to say about that issue. Because Jinder Mahal, like I stated, they had something good with Jinder Mahal, and 3 weeks after Money in the Bank, his championship reign completely died out. Completely died out because WWE basically gave up on it, and they didn't treat it as important as it should have been. And, you know, we all know what happened with the Punjabi prison match and what happened at SummerSlam. As I keep on stating, there's only so far you can go with a guy like Jinder Mahal. He's very, very stiff in the ring. His character has died down. It's become very stale. The best thing for them to do with Jinder Mahal at this point, before his character is completely, disapproved by the entire fan base, they need to have him lose the WWE Championship to Shinsuke Nakamura so Nakamura can boost the prestige back up. And then Jinder Mahal, he can go for the United States title. You can have Jinder Mahal hold the United States Championship and act as a potential Rusev figure. Like 2014, 2015 Rusev figure. That would make for a great storyline. And you could have someone like Zayn or Dillinger dethrone Mahal. But they give him the WWE Championship, and 3 weeks after Money in the Bank, less than 2 months into his title reign, it completely fell flat. Completely fell flat. So now we're stuck in this position. What happens if Nakamura loses again? Nakamura is done. Is done if he loses again. There will be no recovering if Nakamura is to lose to Mahal tomorrow. It would make zero sense. The storyline would be terrible. And now the rumor will be confirmed that John Cena will be coming back after he's filmed his Transformers spin-off Bumblebee to take the WWE title off of Jinder Mahal, just so we can get that quick 17th championship in there and break Ric Flair's fake record. Nobody wants to see John Cena break Ric Flair's record as of right now. Nobody does. People want to see Nakamura, who is without a doubt one of the biggest draws that they have, right up there with AJ Styles. They want to see him as the champion. And do you know that if Mahal holds the championship past Hell in a Cell, he would have broken AJ Styles' record or reign as WWE champion? AJ Styles and Nakamura, two of the biggest stars in the world in professional wrestling. They come to the WWE and they're going to get overshadowed by one man who is only the champion because they want to boost revenue in India. Vince McMahon is willing to devalue the prestige of a brand that he possesses in order to gain revenue. How much does Vince McMahon have to be pushed? How much does he have to be told for him to realize that it's a wrong decision to continuously disrespect the best talent in the world? It would make zero sense. And to be quite honest, I don't give a shit. I don't give a shit if they got an Indian tour next week. They need to get that title off of Jinder. I have a sick, twisted feeling in my gut that this rumor that Jinder Mahal might be retaining is true. And goddamn, I really hope it's not. Excuse my language. There's only so far you can go with a guy like Mahal, and there's only so far a guy like me can be pushed before I actually need to say something. It's like the SummerSlam issue. It's like the No Mercy issue, like the Battleground issue. When did we have, what was the last good pay-per-view that we actually had? Great Balls of Fire? And even then, that wasn't really that good. Because Miz was Intercontinental Champion, Enzo and Cass broke up, and Samoa Joe lost to 1 at 5 to Brock Lesnar. Even that pay-per-view wasn't overly entertaining. If Shinsuke Nakamura loses, he's done. He should just leave and go off to New Japan with Ziggler. If AJ Styles' record is broken, he should get out of there too. Take the U.S. title with him. Have a WCW incident. I don't give. And finally, we got the Hell in a Cell match between Shane McMahon and Kevin Owens. As some of you already know, Owens might be moving to Raw because he has been advertised for Raw events after Hell in a Cell. Does this entail that Shane McMahon is winning? It's a tough decision to call, but I don't really understand why they need to give the win to Shane McMahon. The only reason why you should give a win to Shane McMahon is if you want to continue the storyline. And I'm not even sure if they really want to continue the storyline. I think this might just be a one-and-done situation. If you ask me, they should have Nakamura win the championship, have Owens defeat Shane. They could have, I think that there's a rumor going around that they might have a Bobby Roode versus Kevin Owens feud. You could have Bobby Roode and Kevin Owens feud for a little bit. Roode can go after the U.S. title. He can dethrone AJ. Owens can go after the WWE Championship to keep Nakamura busy. AJ wins the Rumble. Nakamura, AJ, WrestleMania. It doesn't even have to be the main event. I just want Nakamura and AJ Styles for the WWE Championship at WrestleMania. That's it. That's all I can ask for. If Shane McMahon wins that Hell in a Cell match with Kevin Owens tomorrow night, it would be yet another big mistake. Right up there with Brock Lesnar not giving up the Universal title to either Braun Strowman or Samoa Joe. Right up there with Baron Corbin failing to cash in Money in the Bank. Right up there with Baron Corbin failing to win the Intercontinental title against Dean Ambrose. Right up there with Bray Wyatt losing the WWE Championship at WrestleMania. Yet another horrendous decision. I can't really stress that enough. I can't stress that enough. Owens needs to come out victorious. If he doesn't, and he moves to Raw, big mistake. Draining SmackDown of their talent and all that other BS. And ladies and gentlemen, that wraps up this edition of The Rundown. I would like to thank each and every one of you who tuned into this video live. Do not forget to follow me on Instagram at DDog316. Do not forget to follow me on Twitter at #1WWE fan. Do not forget to check out the Lightning Flash update next week. I'm going to see if I can find any good news, rumors, and reports for Survivor Series perhaps. Maybe even the Royal Rumble. Although I have not heard anything from the Rumble yet. And lastly, do not forget, I will be tweeting live tomorrow for Hell in a Cell with the pre-show starting at 7 p.m. Eastern Time. So if you want to talk, have a conversation with me on Twitter, I'll be there. I'll be open to anyone. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm the one and only DJ Storms. This has been The Rundown. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. I'll catch you tomorrow.